You know that feeling when your brain has way too many tabs open and you can't find the one playing music? Yeah, that's overthinking. It feels like you're being productive, but really, you're just stuck. So today, let's figure out how to finally close some of those tabs. Wow. Okay, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It completely reframes the problem. What you think is careful analysis, it's actually just your brain practicing for a disaster that, let's be honest, probably isn't going to happen. Getting that difference is the absolute key. And here it is, the central lie that our brains tell us. The brain thinks, hey, if I just think about this problem more, I'll find a better solution. But it's a trap. It's a mental shortcut that kicks in when you can't control something. It feels like work, but it's really just paralysis in disguise. Okay, so to get out of this trap, we first have to understand what's actually going on up there. And we're going to borrow a really cool concept from engineering to make it super clear. It's all about separating the signal from the noise. So there's a fancy clinical term for this whole mess, perseverative cognition. It's a mouthful, but all it means is you're either chewing on something from the past, that's rumination, or you're stressing about the future, that's worry. It's the engine that keeps that thought loop running. Now, this is so important. This isn't just happening in your mind. Every single time you replay that negative thought, your body gets the memo that the threat is real and it's happening right now. Your heart rate goes up, cortisol spikes, you are literally experiencing the physical damage of stress over and over and over again.
Hey, quick pause. If this video is helping you understand your mind a little better, that's what this channel is built for. We explore the psychology behind thoughts and behaviors most people never question. If that interests you, subscribe and check out another video. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you. Now back to the video.
And that's where signal detection theory comes in. Just think of your brain like a radio. It's trying to tune into a clear station. That's the signal. But it's getting drowned out by a ton of static, and that's the noise. Overthinking is when you start listening to the static like it's the actual song. And this makes the difference so clear. A signal is a real problem you can actually do something about. The noise, that's just a fear loop that goes nowhere. It practices fear, not solutions. Learning to tell these two apart is your first big step toward freedom. All right, so what actually happens when we let that rehearsal for danger take over? Well, the consequences are probably a lot bigger than you think. Just look at these numbers, they're kind of staggering. 54% of people, that's more than half of us, are doing this multiple times a day. And it's not harmless. 68% feel stressed doing it, and 59% say it messes up their decisions. So no, this isn't some minor quirk, it's a huge problem. Let this one sink in for a second. Rumination doesn't just replay what happened, it makes the feeling worse each time. A mistake that hurt you once, the thought loop turns it into a wound you keep reopening, day after day. It makes the original pain so much worse. And here's how that spiral works. It starts with something specific, like, I failed that test. But then it morphs into something huge and abstract, like, I'm a failure. That makes you pessimistic, right? So any small step you could take feels pointless. And the worst part, it puts blinders on you. You can't even see the new opportunities right in front of your face because you're too busy staring at the old problem in your head. Okay, prepare for a bit of a plot twist here. We all know overthinking is a problem, and for a lot of us, the next logical step is therapy, right? To talk it all out. But what if that can actually make things worse? I mean, this is the assumption, isn't it? Go to therapy, process your feelings, talk through your thoughts. But for someone who is a chronic overthinker, that can sometimes be like trying to put out a fire with a can of gasoline. Yeah, the research on this is pretty shocking. If you go into therapy already in the deep habit of ruminating, it can actually lead to worse outcomes. Why? Because if you don't tackle the habit of overthinking itself, therapy can just become another place to rehearse the same painful stories, instead of a place to break free from them. So if we can't just think our way out of this, what on earth do? We need a toolkit. Real practical things you can do to short-circuit the loop and get back to the signal. Let's jump right in. First things first, we have to learn how to sort our thoughts. Worry just loops. Planning actually solves problems. Worry is obsessed with the worst-case scenario. Planning is focused on the very next step. So ask yourself, is this thought giving me new information or a new action? If not, it's worry, and you can just label it as that. And that's the goal right there. You're not trying to force your thoughts to stop. That's basically impossible. You're just trying to sort them. It's a skill, like being a bouncer at the club of your own mind. You decide who gets in and who has to wait outside. Here is a brilliant filter you can use. Grab that thought that's been bugging you. Does it point to something you can actually do? An action that will give you new information in the next day or two. If the answer is no, then it's noise. It's not a useful thought, and you can give yourself permission to just let it float by. And remember, trying to solve problems when you're super emotional is a total disaster. It just leads to more overthinking. The real strategy is this. Calm your body down first, Take some deep breaths. Then, when you're feeling more level, focus on something small and concrete you can change in your immediate environment. This one is a total game changer. When you're stuck, you feel like you are the thought. But asking this simple question, what's the next thought? It pulls you out. It makes you an observer of your own mind instead of a prisoner in it. All of a sudden, the thoughts have way less power over you. And just remember this, your brain doesn't actually want to spin in circles forever. It wants to correct. It's built to take action, get feedback from the world, and then adjust. Giving it a small, real-world task to do is so much more satisfying for your brain than just letting it spin. So I'll leave you with this question. Don't try to solve your entire life in one afternoon. Just look at one worry you have right now. What's one tiny experiment you can run on it in the next 24 hours that will give you some new data? Anything at all. That's not overthinking. That's how you start moving forward.